Hi, welcome to Nonprofit Sector Foundation's free grant writing workshop called Write Winning Grants, Grant Writing 101. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. Let's jump in. Who is this training for? Well, quite frankly, it's for anyone interested in writing grants. You could be a staff member at a nonprofit organization, and that's your job, or an independent consultant who wants to write grants for nonprofits. This class is for you. About me. Hi, I'm your trainer, Courtney Pepper, the CEO of Nonprofit Sector Foundation. I started the organization in 2008, and since then, we've helped hundreds of nonprofits with their capacity building services. I bring a unique experience to this class because of the different positions that I've held in the nonprofit industry over the last, 22 years. So I've been a receptionist, an executive assistant, a program director, executive director, and now CEO. And I'm just excited about helping others. So thank you for joining us and welcome, and let's jump in. Okay, so what we will be covering today will be a basic quick review of the grant writing process. So a couple of slides about that, like what is a grant, how to find them, and then we'll discuss if your organization is ready to submit, so how you can tell if your organization is ready to receive grant funding. And then lastly, spoiler alert, yes, we will be selling you a workshop at the end, but just so you know, it's only $50, not $4,000, and then they drag it out to the end. I'm letting you know now it's $50. So whether you take it or not, you move forward, you'll learn a few things today. But in that class, it'll be way more in depth. I will be teaching you a 5-step process to grant writing. And it has worked for me. It has worked for the people I've taught it to. And we've received hundreds of thousands in grant funding because of it. So hopefully you decide to take it. It'll be on demand, very similar to this one. Okay, let's jump right in. What is a nonprofit grant? Basically, free money for nonprofits. It is a financial donation to an organization. Top level, don't forget. So there's different types of grants from the government, from a private foundation, and even from different corporations like Coca-Cola or Target. They have corporate giving programs that will fund nonprofit organizations. So that was happening pre-COVID, and of course now during the COVID. But those are the different types of grants, and that's what a grant is. And I'd like to mention this important part. If you remember anything from this workshop, please remember this. Create your program first, then find a grant to fund it. Don't go looking for grants and say, oh, we could do that, and then create a program around it. It's not successful and it won't succeed in the long run. How to search for grants. Wow. There's Google. There's an organization called Candid, candid.org. And then your local management support organization. Where we live, our local management support organization is the Inland Empire Community Collaborative. It's actually in San Bernardino County in California. We are in Riverside County in California. So there is a fee. Except for Google, everyone is going to charge you to search for grants, but it helps the organization or whoever you're paying. Candid is a nonprofit as well, but they're huge. They actually were created by combining the Foundation Center and GuideStar. So for those of you who are seasoned, that have been in here for a while, you know those organizations. But for those of you who are new, GuideStar is an organization that when you receive your 501c3 from the IRS and everything is complete, then you go to GuideStar and fill out a profile, and that's where the major funders, individual donors, and corporations and foundations go to check you out. So they want to make sure you actually have a 501c3, and GuideStar is partnered with the IRS. The Foundation Center is a collective, like a library of grants. And back in the day, they have books, like literally, they were like that thick. to search for grants. And can you imagine? The information was so not current. So I'm just so excited about searching for grants nowadays because they can keep things current just like that. So check those out. They're very helpful. Grant readiness. Am I ready to submit for a grant? The question is the organization ready to receive? In the paid class, we'll go through this entire list. I actually have a checklist from a private foundation, which you can check off to see, they say, are you ready? Here's what it means to be ready. And we go through that whole checklist. I actually give it to you. But it's very helpful in getting you ready to receive grants. So a few suggestions to help you decide. Have you developed your outcomes? Do you even know what those are? Do you have a board of directors? Is it more than 3? Do you have multiple revenue streams? So I put that there because when you write grants, you've got to have money coming in another way, because grants take, I know I talked about it, but it takes so long to get, and back in the past when we didn't have as good at computers, sometimes it would be hard to track. So we'd submit for a grant and I would totally forget. Like they would send us a no by email. I'm like, who's it? I don't even know. I can't remember. It's been so long. So yeah, but we keep better track now. But because of that, you always want to make sure you have different types of revenue streams. And in the paid class, we'll give you all types of ideas on how to do that. Outcomes. Yes, let's dig in a little deeper. So, how do you know if what your nonprofit is doing is making a difference in the community? How do you know? Do you give quizzes, polls, um, evaluations at the end of your program? Like, how do you know? Do you have a plan for success? And if you do, what does that even look like? How do you evaluate your programs? What does evaluate mean? So evaluation within nonprofit or anywhere is a huge component to what we do. And can be very complicated. And you can I've seen organizations who've had separate jobs just for the person who will be evaluating programs. Funders want to know. They want to know what you're doing to make sure that it's needed, it's making a difference, and it's worth it before they give you the money. I mean, think about it. If you were giving someone $200,000 to do a specific thing, when you want to know if it's going to make a difference. So let me read this quote for you. I suggest you Google this book. It's called Leap of Reason by Mario Moreno. Here's what he says about the topic. Nonprofits and grant makers and governments have a responsibility to the individuals and communities we all serve to be as effective as possible. In an environment of increasingly limited resources, those nonprofits that can demonstrate that they are truly making an impact will be the ones that most likely attract resources and talent. Will be the ones most likely to attract resources and talent, and therefore be the most suitable. Let that sink in for a few seconds. That's outcomes. He explained it perfectly. Your board of directors. Okay. Do you have more than 3? We have 3. I'll be honest. Actually, we have 4. But you need an even number. So we'll go more into that in the paid workshop. But the importance of your board of directors. So I've had funders tell me, does your board give? No. Well, if your board, the people who are taking their time out to govern and lead the organization, if they don't donate, why should I? Great question, right? So that's the importance of your board. They're there to govern the organization. They set the tempo, they set the tone, they make the plan, and then the staff comes in and executes that plan. And then every month or quarter or annually, your board is supposed to meet. That way, you make sure that each month or quarter that the organization is on track with the goals that were set in the beginning of your year. And then, are your board members active? Do they actively promote the organization? Do they actively give? Here's a quick tip. if you want to be in compliance with 100% board giving, charge them $20 every time they come to a meeting. So if that's once a year, 4 times a year, or 12 times a year, you can count on $20 from each board member. And when you're asked if you have 100% board giving, you can honestly say yes. So that's a great little tip for you. Basic items needed to submit a grant. This is the short list. I have a really long list for you. But basically, you'll need your organization's mission, vision, purpose statements. Definitely your history. Those things never change. Here's a tip. Create a folder on your desktop, wherever you have your organization stuff, and call it basic items needed to submit a grant, or call it whatever you want. But literally take a Word document and write your mission. Then close it and save it as mission. Do the same thing for your vision statement, your purpose statement, and your history. That way, when you're writing a grant, you might not forget your mission, but some people actually do. So if you do, you can just go straight to that folder, open up the Word document, copy, paste right into the grant. Works like a charm. So for the things that don't change, like your EIN or your state tax ID number, have all of that in that folder. The name, address, and phone number of the organization. I know you can remember that. I hope so. But you don't have to put that in the folder. You can look that up on Google. Sorry. Okay. And then you're going to need the amount of funding that you will need, that you need to raise. So if your job is to raise the entire budget for the whole organization, that's the amount you're going to need. If you're raising money for one program, then that's the amount of funding you'll need. And then, of course, a budget. In the paid class, I give you a template. So I know that it's been hard for some organizations to budget, especially during the COVID, or even to find a really good template. I got a great one. I'll send it to you. Not now, after the paid workshop. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to start you. Moving on. All right. Let's move into the Grants for Nonprofits webinar. So this is a brand new on-demand workshop that we will be providing for you on demand, not free of charge, but it's only $50. So that way you can go back and watch it, when you need help in a certain area. Of course, we'll send you all of the templates, but pretty much we simplify it for you and give you the tools to start writing right away. When you finish watching it, and throughout the class, you'll see an asterisk, and it'll show you. You'll get a template for this section. So after you watch it, you will be sent those free templates. And afterwards, one-on-one customized technical assistance is available to you for a small fee. You can go to our website, and if that's how you got here. So on the website, you'll see an area where you could choose to contact us about more services, and that's exactly what you could do for help. So I break it down for you. What we will cover in the paid class is fact finding. So I will teach you how to gather everything that you will need, similar to the little bit I shared with you about the creating a folder. It'll be way more stuff. And then the next step is grant readiness, and it's way more in depth. Like I said, there's a checklist from a major funder there. It's actually entitled Grant Readiness to ensure your organization is ready to submit. Then step 3 is research. So I'll show you how to research. It's an art form. Like the example I gave you about the veterans, or did I? If I didn't, then here we go. So in the Foundation Center or Candid, when you're searching for grants, let's say you help veterans, so and you search for veterans and nothing comes up. Well, on their site, it's military, veterans. So there's so many different tips to be able to research effectively so that you'll have enough leads in order to write your grants. So step 4 is the actual writing process, and we talk about that. A lot of people feel like they have to be real eloquent and use big words and prove to the funder that you're so great through your words, when actually it's the story. The story sell. The funder doesn't care about grammatical errors or spelling, even though you should make sure that those are not there. But if you have one by mistake and they have it, they're not going to penalize you for it. I was a grant reader for a while for the state, and literally they tell us to ignore it. And there's a rating system, like a point system. So as we're reading through your grant, if you meet certain criteria, we give you a certain number of points. So at the end, if all the points match up, then you receive the funding. So yeah, there's a lot to writing, and there's not a lot. So yeah, we'll go over that. And then the last step is the importance of reporting. I was at an organization one time, and before I got there, the organization had received funding from the United Way. And the United Way called, and it was actually someone I knew because I've been real active in our community over the last 13 years. And she's like, "Hey, Courtney, I noticed that you guys submitted a grant." And I'm like, "Yeah, so what's going on?" She's like, "There's no way we can fund you." And I'm like, "Huh? Why not?" "Oh, you guys received a grant 20 years ago and never filled out the reporting." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Well, if I could find it and report on the activities and send it to you, do you think we could be included for this round of funding?" She said, "If you can find it." So I sent the staff off to look for it, to no avail. We couldn't find it. So now that organization is on the hook to pay back $20,000. Yeah, reporting is important. So, like I said, the information in that workshop will be for California-based organizations only. And again, if your organization is based outside of that area, just let us know. You can actually email us, info@nsfcares.org, and let us know your issue and we'll help you. All right. Where do you sign up? Right where you signed up for this workshop is the paid class. So just go on ahead and click on that and pay $50 and you can go ahead and get started. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your participation today. We hope you stay connected. There's our website and email and Instagram. Oh, follow us on Instagram, on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, Twitch, a lot of places. But Instagram is the most popular for us. So if you're there, please follow us and we'll follow you back. And please accept our free gift for participating today. It'll be a surprise. So after you've received this, we'll get a notification. After you watch this workshop, we'll get a notification with your email and we'll send you out a free gift. And it's a surprise. Thank you again. Looking forward to working with you.